All right. Hi, everyone. So, as you can see from the title, I'll try to dig deeper into post-LLM AGI structures and maybe think about how we could achieve AGI. And from the last video, someone commented an architecture which is called JESTER Architecture. Again, I don't know how to pronounce it, so sorry about that. But from what I've been reading, this JESTER architecture essentially is designed to work like a brain. So what it does is it has various models and they all work together as one. So you have a lot of specialized models, maybe smaller language models, or models just for reasoning, which might not necessarily be language models at all. And they all work together and come um, to work kind of like a centralized way. So again, um, I guess the best analogy is your brain, right? So if you see, or like if you're taking visual information, then you know that this visual information travels to the back of your brain. Combine that with, for instance, um, auditory input. You have obviously your senses to do that. And I think that is the same way that the architecture works. So it's taking a lot of inputs, and because you have a lot of models, they can probably at the same time process information. So it's very much like our brain. Now, large language models, they can't do that. They are huge models trained on parameters and billions of tokens to act kind of like a generalized intelligence. Now, from a biological standpoint, we know that this can't really work because, again, if we look at the evolution of our brain, for instance, our brain or the human brain or the mammal brain, it had to develop from the reptile brain and then even from organisms before that, like very, very primitive. And we kind of developed certain ways to think about the world, right? So we came up with orientation, we came up with experiencing our environment, we came up with understanding and thinking about goals long in the long run. We developed a prefrontal cortex where essentially we are, processing the most important information to build social interaction. And so, if you know that, even in a rough sketch about our brain, then you can very much assume that AGI is not going to be achieved by large language models. So that's why looking into this Jester architecture is quite interesting. Again, I don't have that much time to look into it, so that was a very rough explanation, but I hope it made kind of sense. And apart from that, I think I'll be looking into other models, specifically the ones where we are advancing into processing visual information. And there is a startup by Stanford professor Dr. Fei Li, and she's regarded as the godmother of AI because she actually helped train the first model that could decipher pictures, which was AlexNet. Um, and so from there, we kind of got to the point where neural networks were able to tell you what is on a picture based on the research of Dr. Lee. So covering the startup might be interesting, and that's it for today.